tails wagging and Bernoulli is a brat. Adam's in a hurry, he's starting for a test. Bunsen comes around and says, I'll help
check
you do
two.
your best. Bernoulli's on a mission, chewing
Hello,
everything
Twitter.
in sight. But Bunsen's on duty, keeping everything alright.
Live.
Better watch your back, sending it.
Hello, YouTube. Hello, Twitter video or X video. Hello, Facebook video. And then the code to Instagram. You're good to go.
Sending LOLs, cracking up the pack. From the cat to the beaver, even mom's in the mix. Oh, Bunsen's in the chat, let the good.
Hello, everybody.
Woof, woof.
Okay, just waiting for Chris to log in.
Woof, woof, we're gonna have a good time. Woof, woof, Bunsen's on the go now. So let the good times roll. Bunsen's in the chat.
Hello, everybody. It's good to see everybody again. Hello. Hello from Nashville. Well, hello, Nashville. Hello from Alberta, Canada. Okay. Chris, you made it.
I'm here.
You're good to go.
I'm here.
Is my video lagging a bit? It looks like I'm frozen. Or am I good for you?
You're frozen.
Uh-oh. That's not good.
Well, now I can see you smiling, so you're not quite frozen now.
Something's a bit laggy there, yeah. Well, it is what it is. We're going to try. Give me a thumbs up if you're on Twitter Spaces and you can hear everything okay. We're just going to do a quick audio check there. Okay, I think we're ready to get going. We'll do our intro and then we'll get on with the show.
Awesome.
Hello, pet enthusiasts. My name is Jason Zakowski. I'm the dog dad of Bunsen, Beaker, Bernoulli, and the cat dad to Brix, the science cat. Welcome to Pet Chat. My co-host with the mostest is...
Hi there, I'm Chris Zakowski, and I am the dog mom to Bunsen, Beaker, and Bernoulli, and the cat mom to, well, Ginger and Brix. Do you have Brix with you right now?
Yeah, he is somewhere. Here he is.
Aw.
I have Brixie. Yeah. He's my bud. So
That's
welcome to...
true.
I actually screwed up the intro because I was grabbing Brix. Every week in Pet Chat, we talk a little bit about the dogs. We might have a guest. We have a guest today, and we'll get to our guest in a second. And then we let our community ask more questions or share their own pet stories. So I'm glitching a little bit, but it is what it is. We're gonna keep rolling. We do start with some Q&A. So if you have any questions for us, go ahead. We'll answer a few questions for about 5 minutes, and then we're going to get to our guest because we've got a very interesting guest today. So type up your questions, type them into the chat. Chris, can you watch X audio?
Yep.
Okay. And then maybe you can hear Brix purr.
Maybe.
Mm-hmm. He's a sweetie. Good cat. Okay, checking. People are saying Brix has got so big. Hi, Brix. Love you. How old are all the pets? Okay, so Chubby K8 says, how old are all the pets? Bunsen's the oldest. He's almost 9. Then Beaker's almost 6. That is shocking that Beaker's almost 6. Bernoulli's a year and a half. He's going to be turning 2.
In April.
Yeah. How old is Ginger?
Oh, shoot. They want Ginger's age too.
I don't know.
We're not sure how old Ginger is. She's younger than Beaker. So maybe we'll peg her at about 4.
Right. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. And then Brix is 4 months.
Well, August, September, October, November, December, January. He's like 5 months old.
Yeah. Chris, how much does Brix weigh?
Oh, you have my phone.
More than yesterday.
Yeah, more than yesterday.
Yeah.
you have my phone. And so if you go into the notes app.
Okay, I don't want to chance that.
Okay.
I'm not touching any of the technology. We've got 5 social media sites linked together.
Okay.
Yeah. Any questions from Twitter or X?
No, not yet.
Some people are just saying hello. So they're not really questions.
I know, just lots of hello and well, Happy New Year.
Yeah. People are saying how they can't believe how big Bricks has gotten. From Umbridge says, I was wondering, can I borrow Bunsen, Beaker, and Bernoulli and Bricks to be a part of my chemistry team at work? Probably not. They may have chemistry names. I'm not sure how helpful they'll be in the lab.
But there we do have stuffies.
That's true.
That you could put in the lab, and they could just be in their stead.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. And then there was one more question, but it's not really a question. It says your Instagram, says Julie, your Instagram posts are my favorite. All your furry family members are so adorable. Aw, thank you. That's a nice comment.
Mm-hmm.
And then we got a nice comment from Facebook. Stephanie says, hi from Vashon Island, Washington. Hopefully I said that right. Vashon, you guys are great. Best wishes that Gord does well on Monday. Yeah, I did just send out our newsletter about Gord. We'll talk maybe a little bit about him later. If people have
sure.
More. Yeah, because we know quite a bit more now than we did a couple days ago.
Mm-hmm. Bianca, of course, is saying, how is Chris managing with Bricks not being with her on camera today? Jealous. Well, we've been allowing Bricks a little bit more freedom. Mm-hmm. And he's actually, he's right here in the room with me.
Yeah.
And then he went to be with Jason, and now he's back with me. And so I'm not jealous anymore. But part of it is that we're allowing him more freedoms to move about. Mm-hmm. And, you know, where he chooses to go is where he chooses to go, which this morning was in Jason's lap. And I was very sad then.
Okay. We've got like probably 10 more questions that have come in. I'm going to answer 2 more, and then we're going to get to the guest.
Sure.
Because we don't want to keep our guests waiting. So now they've joined the stream and they're asking questions. We'll get to the questions at the end if there's time. But for right now, La Vida 2 asks, we'll start with Shaz 5393 from Northern Ireland, watching from Ireland. Do your cats have harnesses? And the answer is yes, they do. Both Ginger and Bricks have harnesses, and we're training Bricks right now to wear one and to walk on one. I'm pretty confident he's not going to run away because he doesn't like being in the snow. So in the shot where he was on my shoulder, he didn't have a harness on, but he went right back in the backpack. So it's not like he's out and about without a harness on. He probably should have one in the future, though. Anything else to add to that, Chris?
Well, I just was, I'm just glad I didn't know that you had him harnessless, because I am very diligent about having him harnessed so he's safe. And then over the top, actually.
Okay. And then the last question, we'll honor them kind of in the order they came in. La Vida 2 asks, it's amazing how much Bricks has become a dog. My cats act like his dog sister. Yeah, it's probably because Bricks has he's been around cats when he was little at the foster home, and then he just thinks he's a burner or something. Like he hangs out with them, he sleeps on the ground next to them. But he does cat stuff. Like he was climbing, like he's behind you being a cat.
Yep, he's behind me being a cat.
Yeah, he does cat stuff, which is really cute. He does kitten stuff, which is new to me. So very sweet. Yeah. I don't know. Okay, so we'll do our best to answer some of the questions after our guest. Okay, because we don't want to keep our guests waiting too much longer. All right, so I'm going to take the B Squad camera down, and then I'm going to bring up our guest. So, hello, how's it going, Ryan?
It's going really well. Thanks for having me here tonight.
You betcha. Is your last name pronounced Woodruff? Did I say that right?
Yep.
Yeah. So our guest Ryan is the CEO of Clear Path for Veterans, and that's outfit we're going to be talking about a little bit later. You are a U.S. Marine veteran, and you found a lot of good purpose helping your fellow service members transition to civilian life, and that's because you had a hard time transitioning to civilian life. I can't imagine what that's like. As we say to the Royal Canadian Armed Forces, we thank them for our service, and I'm sure your countrymen will thank you for your service as well. It's a tough go sometimes, and we're really happy to have you as our guest today to talk about your work with dogs. So welcome to Pet Chat.
Thank you, Jason and Chris. It's nice to see and meet you both. I look forward to talking more.
I was wondering, just at the start, could you tell us a little bit about you got into the Army? Was that young for you? Like some of I teach high school chemistry, and some kids, they go right from high school to the Army in Canada. Was that your story, or did you do something else before that?
Same story. It's not very uncommon here down in the United States. A lot of students in high school that are interested in a pathway through the military join right after high school. So I enlisted at 17, and the day I graduated, I was off to boot camp.
You were off to boot camp. Did the Americans have something like cadets? Like, did you do military stuff before you went? Because we have that in Canada. Like when you're I think as soon as you're 12, you can start doing military training for the Canadian Armed Forces, and then you go kind of like through different things. It's called cadets, but there's different levels.
That's available down here. They have ROTC. They have different military academies that it's probably similar age. Young men and women can join and do that prior to enlistment. But for me, we had moved around so much, it was hard to get established in any one given thing. So the best I could do was I enlisted at 17. I had a year left of high school. And during that enlistment period, I was in what was called a delayed entry program. So I could connect with other Marines and start the physical training and some of the educational components prior to going to boot camp, which was really helpful.
Gotcha. One of my colleagues, she's a cadet instructor, and she's a nautical instructor. And we kind of tease her, though. She's pretty tough, right? There's a lake near where we live, and they do boat stuff on this lake, like military boat stuff. And we kind of tease her because it's a very small lake, and she's like, it's the best we got to teach the kids all of the stuff about being, I forget what it would be in Canada, but I think it would be what's the American version of the Army that's on the ocean?
The Navy.
The Navy. Okay, so I think it's something similar in Canada. Yeah. But yeah, we only tease her a little bit because I think she could like take us all out. So
any of the training up your way is got to be especially this time of year, pretty rough. I can imagine the cold weather was one of the things in my military experience in the field that, you'd always see people that would break down physically, and it was in part due to just being cold and wet all the time. And I just, I couldn't imagine, being north of the States doing that.
Yeah, it's pretty brutally cold. I can't imagine being out in it for too long, but I guess it's part of the job for the people that go that way. I was wondering if you could talk to us a little bit about your own personal experience getting back to civilian life, because as I understand it, that was the impetus for getting involved with, helping your fellow veterans find normalcy, but then linking up with dogs.
Absolutely.
If you're comfortable talking a little bit about that.
Yeah, for sure. I'll start off by saying I've wanted to be in the military my entire life, as far back as I can remember. That was my dream. I've always had an affinity for animals. I grew up with dogs, and we've always had a dog in the house, and anywhere I went. Considering my story, jumping around, moving a lot. I had a very difficult time at a young age forming social bonds and plugging into any kind of community. So, but dogs were always there, and it was very easy for a young kid like myself, to find a connection and really, embrace and benefit from the human animal bond and ways that I know now I can understand it. And so I think it was always there for me, but the military experience, as I said, I went right out of high school. It was at the height of Operation Iraqi Freedom. I joined the infantry. So as a combat military occupational specialty, I knew full well that I'd be deploying to Iraq. And sure enough, within about 8 months of my enlistment, after being dropped to my unit, we had worked up, trained, and were deployed in 2006 in between two cities called Fallujah and Ramadi, which were pretty rough at the time. This was during a surge and resurgent of a lot of, like some of the insurgent activity up there had ramped up at this time in a big way. There was an initial invasion in the early 2000s. It declined a little and then ramped back up. And that was when we had deployed. And so I was 19 and certainly not prepared for what I was about to experience. The first time I was over there and experienced a firefight, there's no way to describe that. Having bullets fly over your head and, being one move away from your life being taken, it grows you up pretty quickly. And some of the things that you see and experience, they just imprint on you for a lifetime. Not to say that becomes your identity. I've learned that over time. While I experienced a lot of trauma over there, I lost a lot of friends, ended up losing 14 brothers that I had deployed with.
I'm so sorry.
Yeah, but the message that I would say that I had learned from this whole experience was it's more about growth than living within your woundedness and your trauma. And dogs certainly were a major component to that. So fast forward, I deployed one more time after I got back from that deployment. After doing my full term of enlistment, as opposed to what I had thought I'd be in the military for 20 plus years, I started to think, man, I took everything for granted. I didn't realize how good I had it prior to going into the military or being in a third world country, having people trying to take my life and so on and so forth, losing friends, that the world had so much more to offer than what I was currently experiencing. There's a lot of honor in doing a full career in the military, and I give credit to anybody that would do that. But I was changing courses at that time, and I wanted to get into the civilian world. And so I decided I was going to get out of the military in 2009. And I certainly was not prepared for what that experience would look like. So I had a plan. I thought I was going to get into law enforcement and, perhaps be a patrol officer or a canine cop. I didn't, and I'll say prior, in the military, I did not directly work with dogs. We had military working dog units attached to us. So as an attachment, as a support element, never worked with dogs specifically. But there was something within me that definitely, I could tell that there was something being ready to be discovered as I got out of the military in the field of dogs. I just didn't know what it was, especially after it didn't work out with law enforcement. I switched gears and started to pursue natural resources and forestry and wildlife, and that was getting me closer to something that I felt was going to be, my new identity, something that I felt was really important to me. I've always had an affinity for the natural environment. I will say chemistry is one of the hardest subjects I took at the College of Environmental Science and Forestry.
Well, yeah, you got to get through some chemistry to get there, my guy.
Yeah, you're not kidding. It was one of the more challenging ones. And
so, I'm so sorry about that.
It's all good. Great professors. And I was an adult, right? So I'm in school with, and I say adult, I was 22, 23 years old. And, but my peers were between the ages of 18 and 20, and there was very few that were my age or had experiences like me. So my college experience was very isolating. And all throughout this time, I'll just be very honest. I had struggled with alcoholism. I had never overcome the trauma that I experienced from the military. I wasn't seeking out therapy or help. I wasn't looking to blend into my community. I felt more and more isolated, and I kept declining. I was functioning, but I definitely was thinking that I made a mistake, that I should have just stayed in the military because I didn't fit the puzzle piece of the civilian world. I couldn't fit in, and I didn't know what to do about that. So years later, after I graduated college, I ended up working for a tree company. I was an arborist for several years and just working as hard as I could, as many hours as I could, and traveled when I needed to because of the weather we experience up here. They shut down offices, we travel. But I just wasn't hitting the mark in my, I just wasn't, right? And so ClearPath intersected my life at a point where it couldn't have been more perfect. I had a friend that had also served in the Marine Corps who got out around the same time as me. We didn't serve together, but we did some time in community college and we became friends. He was working at ClearPath, helping veterans find employment. He gave me a call and said, "I'm not sure what you're doing these days, but we're on the search for a veteran who's experienced combat to help other veterans transition from their military experience into the civilian world." And it immediately hit a chord with me, right? So I was finally feeling like there was something that was happening in my life that made sense. So I came out to the campus at ClearPath, and I was covered in mud and dirt. I just got done with a whole day of tree work. And he told me he's just going to show me around. Little did I know I was going to meet like the entire leadership team and people that would be later interviewing me. And I was like, "Buddy, you could have, warned me. I thought you were just going to have me tour the campus kind of thing."
Yeah.
But I was blown away. And it was the campus at ClearPath is on a 78-acre property in the middle of central New York, which is beautiful. It's not New York City. A lot of people think of New York and they immediately think of Manhattan. Upstate central New York is very rural, so we're surrounded more by trees and farmland and cows than we are big buildings.
Gotcha.
And so that environment was healing in and of itself. But then to learn that they had this canine program, they had peer support, they had a wellness program, a culinary program. They were really seeking to provide this holistic healing pathway for veterans transitioning out of the military. Was almost, it invoked an emotion with me, right? I couldn't believe it. And how did I not hear about this? For one, we have a great clinical service in the States called the Veterans Administration, which helps veterans clinically, but it didn't do anything that ClearPath was doing. And so that really just begun the journey for me.
That's I knew you were going to talk about this, and I'm getting all teary-eyed listening to your story. I just great resiliency to get to where you are right now. So I was wondering if you could talk to us a little bit about the dog connection within ClearPath for veterans. How heavily are you involved with that? How does that work for veterans with the dogs?
So that was where the story really began for me. I did end up getting hired as a peer mentor, helping other service members transition out of the military. And I kept going down to the lower level of the main campus, which was the canine program, and just watching. And I was just so gravitated towards it. Yeah. And watching the dogs being trained, watching the veterans go through the program, seeing smiles, and seeing like some of the walls break down. Veterans that were once very stoic, couldn't get outside of themselves, were laughing and really checking themselves at the door. That was kind of an unwritten rule that the only way you were going to be able to be, one, successful in this program, but two, like form a meaningful bond with this animal is if you can like tear the walls down and be, playful and look at them in the eyes and smile and actually start to feel again. So I didn't, I never really considered applying for this program as a recipient, but the founder and the program director, this is 10 years ago, said, why you come down here all the time? We see this is something like you're interested in. Why don't you just apply? And you should go through the program. And at the time, I was putting my pain and trauma on this scale, right? Like, I didn't deserve this. So many other veterans had experienced things that I thought were way worse than me. And that I didn't feel like that it was something that I deserved. And, they were quick to say, you served in 2 tours in combat, you've lost people, you have post-traumatic stress, traumatic brain injury, like you are the perfect candidate for this program. You clearly have this affinity and you love to watch these dogs. Like, this is why we're here. And it encouraged me enough to apply. So that began for me back in 2016. I went through this program, ended up as a recipient, and it was a different framework at the time. It was a owner trainer model. So they would help veterans train shelter dogs for almost 2 years, 18 to 24 months in this long process. And this dog that I was matched with, I mean, I'll say up front, she didn't become a service dog. Okay. She did not have the temperament, but I mean, she was very social. She helped tap into a passion within me that I didn't know was there, which was dog training, and which later became my vocation. I mean, because of this dog, Harley, I ended up becoming a dog trainer. She helped me discover that. She helped me overcome a lot of the trauma that I was dealing with. She certainly helped me break down all of the barriers that I was experiencing. But most importantly, she was an inner reflection of my own emotional state, and she reflected everything. And I'll say that is probably one of the keystone reasons why she didn't become a trained service dog, because much of what she was displaying behaviorally, I believe, and I really think was vicariously transferred right down the leash to her from the way I was feeling at that point in time in my life. Because I mean, I could run her through different exercises and, she would act one way with me, but a trainer would take the leash and she would act a completely different way. And it was clear to me that there was something different. There's a different kind of energy that I was putting down the leash compared to other people. So I stayed with the program. I ended up becoming a dog trainer, and for the next 7 years, helped bring that program from local grassroots owner trainer program to now we're internationally accredited through Assistance Dogs International. We have a puppy development program. We still do owner trainer model training, but we also are into breeding now. We get dogs through ADI's International Breeding Cooperative. And a lot of what we learned for veterans specifically, and in my case, being a big example, is that some of the dogs that were being adopted from the shelter were very, one, nervy, and two, very impressionable. We're experiencing, a lot of vulnerability coming out of the shelter and being matched with veterans that had heightened states of PTSD, hypervigilance, and things that could actually make things worse, right? So over the next couple of years, we actually went from a primary shelter-based model to a puppy development program where we would raise puppies from a very young age over the course of 2 years. And this is kind of how it works now. We have a community model where volunteers from our community will help raise puppies for a period of 18 months. And then we bring them back for 6 months and do the final stages of training before they're placed. There's a lot. I mean, there's so many different components of this program. It'd probably be easiest if we just broke it down. And if you had any specific questions to start with, we could go from there.
So the program today, it sounds a lot like what most service dog programs have gone to, where you start with a pool of puppies that are maybe separated from the trauma of being in a shelter, right? Which would not, as you said, not necessarily be good for veterans.
Yep.
Yeah. Is there a higher success rate? Like, have you seen that? Because you've been with the program for a while. Like, has this been a good move, do you feel?
I do. There are some things that have been lost that I would like to resurrect. I would still, so there, 40% of dogs in any cohort in the service dog industry, there's an attrition rate of 40%, right? Like a lot aren't making it the full run. And that could be related to health, with the accreditation that we have, all dogs must be certified for hips, eyes, elbows, heart.
Yeah.
I mean, skin allergies, right? If they have skin allergies and then that needs to be treated, or if they have to be on a hydrolyzed protein diet, they feel that that's an added burden to the recipient that they don't feel is in their best interest. So the career change rate is high. And so we're looking for alternative pathways when these dogs don't make it through the training program. And that could be in the form of facility dogs, therapy dogs. However, for us, we are very focused on mastering the service dog training. You could spend a lifetime, learning this art. It's a one size fits one approach, especially when it comes to veterans diagnosed with, mental health related issues, because it's not something visibly seen. You have to do your due diligence up front and really get to know every recipient that's applying for the program to better understand compatibility, what dog is going to be most suitable for this particular veteran situation. And then furthermore, when it comes to task training, we're really, really focused on certain traits that the veteran may display during episodes, right? So if they're experiencing anxiety, we try to understand what does that look like for them. And we engage their spouse or their partner, or their family, to really get to know what are they doing when they're feeling anxious. Are they bouncing their knee up and down? Are they twisting their wedding band, picking their fingernails? What are they doing? Because then we can do picture training with the dogs, teach them to look at that. And every time they see it through a series of reinforcement history, they know to perform a certain task. And I'll tell you, when you see that happen for the first time for a veteran that's coming in from anywhere in the country, when they experience that and you see it and they didn't really know it was coming, but they had whatever challenge come up and it happens during the first couple of days they meet this dog for the first time, there's never a dry eye, right? It's an immediate, magical feeling, right? They're making eye contact. Whatever it is they're doing prompted the dog to perform this behavior, and they are grounded and they're back in the present moment. They're not disassociating. They're not performing a coping mechanism to try to de-stress. It's the dog and the partnership.
The dog recognized it, and the veteran recognized that the dog recognized it. That would be very powerful.
Yes.
Wow.
It's huge.
I know it's a very broad question, but maybe broadly, could you talk about how the dogs have helped with outcomes that you've seen for veterans? Just like every country, veterans who come back from combat do struggle, and there are some very sad outcomes. I was wondering, have you seen an improvement with that, matching dogs to folks?
Absolutely. And in the last decade or so, there's been so many studies. A lot of research done. We were one of 6 studies that were completed between 2017 and 2018 to validate the efficacy of service dogs for military-related PTSD. We partnered with Syracuse University. They were with us for about 4 years, using a waitlist group as a control group, and then folks that were going through training as the experimental group, to better understand things like stress, perceived stress, post-traumatic stress, through a scale called the Post-Traumatic Stress Disorder Checklist, self-compassion. So that's a big one, self-esteem and self-compassion. is one of the variables that we measured through this study, right? And then quality of life. And naturally, any study that we knew that veterans in training too, which is what was most important to this. The training is a modality. We view training as something very therapeutic, but the veterans in training were experiencing decreased PTSD symptoms, decreased stress overall, increased self-compassion, increased quality of life. And so it was clear, right? I say within 10 minutes, but the study was more of we take a baseline measurement prior to enrollment, and then 6 months into enrollment, we take another measurement, and then we do another 6 months to compare these results. And it continued to trend in the right direction. Now, since that time, they're studying biomarkers and all kinds of different things to really quantify the human-animal bond. And there's so much out there and so much to be discovered. But, we've been in partnership with animals for thousands of years, right? Like, it goes far beyond any of this technology or service dogs. It's not, the science is there, but to me, it's so simple.
I did on the science podcast. I'm the host of the science show. You're bringing back a memory of a study I broke down. It was an anthropological study where they found good evidence that Roman soldiers who have completed their time for the army, which can, back in the day, it's quite a stint they can sometimes be called for. If they survived, they got a nice piece of land, but they came back with what they didn't know at the time, but PTSD symptoms. And there's good evidence that there were dog companions for those soldiers, because the Roman soldiers valued dog companions so very highly because of that. So it's just kind of a cool anthropological study that 4,000 years ago, our ancestors thought the same thing, that there was some importance there.
I'd love to see that if you could find out.
Sure, I'll try to. Yeah, I'll go back through the archives. I think it was like in season 2, 4 or 5 years ago. Yeah,
it's incredible because it goes right in alignment with what our vision is, to kind of reclaim traditional warrior culture. And I don't mean traditional in the sense of the last couple centuries. I mean the last couple thousands of years, how warriors returned home. It used to be a process. It wasn't just, hey, you finished your contract, go home, good luck. It was more of a cleansing process, a community process, a reintegration. And it took more than 3 days or however long they, prepare us for that time at which you finish your enlistment and go back into civilian culture. And animals are a huge component. I mean, certainly not just dogs, but dogs are, I'm a little biased. I've seen it work, and it's incredible. I mean, and that is why I continue to do this, for sure. Having experienced it personally, and to see veterans that go back as far as the Vietnam era saying, I haven't experienced something in over 15 years that has been so healing and helped me overcome this trauma. The difference between having nightmares or not. It's crazy.
Dogs are just awesome.
They are.
And cats too. I'd imagine there'd be the odd veteran that would bond strongly with the cat. We've got a little kitten now, and he's something else, I'll tell you. They're pretty cute little creatures too.
Yeah, I think animals in general. I mean, there's a lot going on in the equine world too.
Yeah,
horses,
yeah.
Yep.
Chris, you were one of your classmates in your master's had a horse therapy farm, so they were using horses for help.
To help in the classroom.
Yeah, very cool. I guess before we get to some Q&A from the audience, just to kind of like wrap this up, because we don't want to keep you too long. What's next for Clear Path for Veterans? Like, either is there some things coming down the pipe? How can our community get involved and help? I know probably it would be more skewed to the Americans than the Canadians that are listening, but I would love to hear. Yeah,
we're growing. So we are one of about 155 accredited Assistance Dogs International accredited organizations in the entire world. And we know that there is a huge need for service dogs, not just in New York State, but nationally and globally.
Yeah.
And so we are making a concerted effort to see how we can expand our capacity to place more dogs within a given year. We do this in partnership with other organizations, and we are always looking to collaborate. There are many different ways to come alongside and partner with us, but we are specifically looking in the next 3 to 5 years to grow our campus so that we can better serve the veteran and military community in our coverage area right now. We do place service dogs all across the country right now, but we're somewhat plateaued based on how many dogs we can have on our property at any given time, how many volunteer puppy raisers we have access to. So we are looking for unique ways to engage the community to help us with puppy raising. That is a big one. It's a huge commitment. It's a 18-month long commitment, but we couldn't do it without our puppy raisers. And these are people just like you and me that are taking these dogs to work with them every day, exposing them in the community, and doing really the foundational things that are most important for them to become service dogs. That I would say is one of the biggest ways to help get engaged with us and follow along. And there is some exciting things on the horizon, but we are looking to really expand everything that we do, not just the canine program, but all of the other core programs and services as well.
There's a website too, right? clearpathforvets.com.
That's right.
If people want more information, that's good. Yeah.
Yep.
1 second here. I will throw that up as a chyron for people to check up.
Yeah,
Right.
I put it in the chat on
Okay.
audio, but there's no nest. So I couldn't put it up in the nest.
Okay. I've got it as the chyron for people watching live. You can see the URL down there at the bottom of the screen. Clearpathforvets.com. Is there a place people can, oh yeah, there's a donate button. Yeah, because I'm getting some folks asking, hey, this is a great idea. Where could we help out? But they could help out by clicking donate on that area there. Awesome. Ryan, are you okay taking a couple questions from the
Yes,
audience?
Definitely.
Okay,
Definitely.
perfect. And again, thank you for sharing your story and the empathetic work that you do for humanity.
My
It's very
pleasure.
And
just
And
go ahead,
and
Chris.
thank you so much for your service,
Mhm.
and what you've done for your country.
Thank you, Chris.
We've got people, just dozens of comments of people thanking you for your service. Just people saying that this has been a very moving show. So thank you for being a guest. But if folks wanted to ask Ryan a question, please type it in and then we'll throw it up on the screen. And those of you listening on audio, if you want to come up to chat to ask a question live, we'll screen that and get people up that way. Oh, sorry, that person had a question for later. So if you do have a question for Ryan, go ahead, type it up. I'll watch the live. Chris, can you watch Twitter or X?
Yep. Yeah, I'm watching.
Okay, we got one from Instagram. First off, K8 says, thank you for your service. All dogs are amazing, but is there a breed that you that you like to work with? Like, is there a specific breed? That's a great question.
Yeah, and I did see something come up earlier about breeds and my favorite breeds. And so we select for health, temperament, and trainability. Sociability is really important. In veterans traditionally that have had trauma, isolate, and they don't want to engage with people. So having a very social dog that's going to bring the general public in is really important to our veteran community. And so for those reasons, we do select Labrador retrievers, golden retrievers. We've trained golden doodles. However, our organization has no breed restrictions. If somebody were to choose a dog that they would like to bring through our training model, we're willing to give them a shot so long as they meet the criteria.
Okay, thanks. There you go. Great question from Instagram. Another shout out, a couple from Instagram, folks saying thank you for your service. That's very, very nice comment. Danielle's watching on Facebook, Ryan. Her question is on the chyron there. What are some examples of behaviors you train the dogs to do when they see the cue that a vet is in distress? Like, what does a dog do when they
Yep.
see that?
One of the more important things that we've realized over time, especially personally, and this is taking into account what are some of the practices that are helping veterans overcome their trauma. And trauma is a lot about rumination and disassociation and thinking of intruding thoughts. So mindfulness, right? Being in the present moment. So anything we can do to train the dog to prompt the veteran to come back to the present moment. And that is very tactile. So putting a nose on the veteran and on their leg, light pressure, jumping in the veteran's lap and laying cross body with their head down simulates a weighted blanket. When the veteran is bouncing their knee up and down or ripping their fingernails apart or touching their face, the dog will put a paw on their foot to not stop them, but again, it's a present moment type of alert to bring them back to the present moment. If a veteran is distressed and puts their hands on their face, they will jump in their lap and put their nose under their hands and lick their face. And a lot of it is engagement. Eye contact is one of the most special tasks. It's not a task, but eye contact for me and a lot of the veterans that I've worked with, they say that's the best thing, is when they make eye contact with their dog. It's like it's something that they mutually benefit from.
There's something about looking in your dog's little eyes, hey?
That's
There's
right.
There's a little creature behind those eyes. It's very special. Okay, Danielle, thanks for the question. Anything coming up on X or Twitter, Chris?
Nope, they're I was just looking at that part. Let me just go back here.
Okay. Another nice comment for you from Facebook there. Amy says, thanks for all you have done and continue to do.
Thank you, Amy.
Graceful Girl 0404 says, so nice to hear about your service and experience with Clear Path for Veterans. Thank you for what you do. And thanks for Jason and Chris inviting Ryan. Well, Ryan, thank you so much for being our guest. We've done the real light work today. We've just asked you some questions.
I appreciate it. Thank you.
Good question here from Paula who's watching on YouTube. What happens when a dog gets older? Do they retire with them and get a new dog? Yeah, that's interesting. That's a good question.
Every graduate of our program will fall into a successor policy, which means that if their dog has retired or passed, that if they want to re-engage the program, we do put them to the top of the list. Okay. However, it's really important that this program helps veterans find independence. So it's not something encouraged or discouraged. We work with the veteran for the life of the dog and then beyond that. So if it does come up and they are interested in re-engaging the program, that's available to them. The dog's working lifespan is different for every dog. It depends. But we do have requirements for regular veterinary checkups. If there's anything orthopedic going on, if there is any health issues going on that wasn't caught early in the screening that would warrant retirement, that's something we look very closely at and help the veteran decide on at a particular stage of life, usually between the ages of 8 to 10, certainly not really beyond that. Taking a dog out into the general public at that stage of their life, walking all over the place, and we're very big advocates for animal welfare and ensuring that the dog has an incredible quality of life. So that's just something that we're very mindful of and sensitive to. We do a annual public access test every year, and then with that, we're checking on the dog's health and just seeing how they're doing. So it's all inclusive. The veteran and the dog are just really getting everything we can provide them.
Awesome. Great answer. Thank you. Stephanie, who's watching on Facebook, says, do you have your own dogs now?
I have 3 dogs right now. And
can you tell us about them? Tell us about them, Ryan. Yeah.
One of them is a service dog, and he is not mine. He belongs to my wife. Mm-hmm. And we have a career change dog, which is his brother, who didn't make it through the program. And he serves as a therapy dog for the organization. So his name is Darby, and we have Chase, and they're both labs. And then for some reason, a couple of years ago, I thought getting a Dutch Shepherd was a good idea. And he's been incredible. I love him to death. I wouldn't change a thing about him, but I would highly encourage anybody considering to get a Dutch Shepherd or a Malinois, definitely do your research. They're very fun, very trainable, and they can do just about anything, but they keep you busy.
Yeah. They are not for a sedentary lifestyle. Is that sums it up?
That's right. Not at all. Not at all.
Yeah. I interviewed a doctor of kinesiology. So like, you know, he studies how the body moves, and he got a Kelpie, and he has a TED talk about if you want to get your steps in and then another 30,000 more, get yourself a Kelpie. So
I believe it.
I think we'll do one more question and then we'll let Ryan go, everybody, because I did quote him a time. Any other questions on X, Chris? I'm manning the other force. Okay. So this, I think I know the answer to this, but I'm going to ask it. Kim is asking. She notices you're based in New York. Is your organization serving Canada or other territories, or just the States?
As of right now, just the States.
Yeah.
But I do encourage you to look at Assistance Dogs International's website, because they have organizations all over Canada that are doing the same thing we're doing. And we consider them all great partners.
Awesome. Yeah. Ryan, are you yourself on social media anywhere, or do you want us just to direct people to that website?
I am on LinkedIn, Instagram, and Facebook. You can just look my name up, and I'm sure I'll pop up. But definitely, Clear Path for Vets is also on all of the social handles: YouTube, Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, all of it. And we're always posting great content, some helpful tips, and some new stuff that's happening in regard to our canine program and everything else we're doing. And we'd love to engage with you. We're going to be starting a podcast here next year, and hopefully be putting out some great content related to our canine program and more.
Decent. Well, best of luck with that.
Thank you.
Ryan, thank you so much for being our guest. This is a very powerful interview, and you have a very moving and inspirational story, and just thank you for the work you're doing for humanity, for people that need it in their time of need. Thank you for being our guest today.
Likewise. Thank you both. And thank you for the work that you're doing as well.
Awesome. Okay. You have yourself a great evening, sir. Thank you.
Appreciate you.
You're welcome to stick around. We usually do a little 10-minute wrap up, but I'll drop you down to the stage, and if not, maybe I'll connect with you through email. So thanks again, Ryan.
Sounds great.
Okay. Take care.
Bye, everybody.
Bye.
Wow. Did you get a little misty-eyed in places? What a great interview.
Yes, like pretty much the entire time.
Yeah. Yeah, that's tough.
And that's an excellent organization.
Yeah. I don't have any analog to compare. Like, I've never been through anything like what Ryan has been through. Like, very few people have. Right? Like, what? It's such a tough job to be in the military and to put your life on the line like that for your countrymen and countrywomen, the people who live in your country. Yeah. I don't know. I'm kind of rambling a bit. Okay, we're going to do some a little bit of wrap up here. If folks have any more questions, we'll go back to maybe like our stuff about the dogs and bricks. We'll do a little wrap up Q&A, and then we'll shut her down. I think though some people have been asking a little bit about Gord. Chris, do you want to talk about that just to let people know?
This has been an emotional interview. So during already a very emotional time of our life, my stepdad was, he had a heart attack and stroke on December. Well, we don't know what day, but he was hospitalized on December 13th. And there's been a lot of ups and downs with the recovery, some setbacks, and then some triumphs. But we are looking at open heart surgery Monday for him as something that will be give him the best possible outcome. And so that is scary in and of itself, because we definitely are and praying for the best outcome. But that's just kind of what we've been going through. And I just love having my little Brixie here, giving me like the snuggles to make me feel better. But
He's pretty
he's
cute.
going to show you. He is pretty cute.
He's going to show you his butt.
Yeah. I don't know. Is that enough information?
Yeah. Like he is having his surgery Monday. We're heading up tomorrow to have a visit with him. We're bringing Doc, which is his dog, and it's been very nice. The hospitals let Doc come to see him. We're gonna stop in and see Marla real quick too, so that's cool. So yeah. Kim has a comment here from Facebook. Since this is the first pet chat in a while, so we answered Chris's stepdad. Also, I won the drawing before the holiday break and wanted to thank you again for the gift. Oh, was that John Heim? Was that the drawing? That's cool. I use them as a special card for animal rescues that we support for the holidays. Oh, that's really sweet. Yeah.
Maybe that was like our cards.
Maybe.
Maybe.
Yeah, maybe I forget, Kim, what that was. Sorry.
Because we did do a drawing with John Heim.
Yeah.
And then we did do our normally we do a draw and we send prizes. And so the prizes were like some postcards. Or whatever we put in the little bin, whatever we put in the envelope. Sometimes it's stickers, sometimes it's postcards.
Oh, Kim says it was the postcards. Yeah.
Oh,
okay.
yeah.
I'm glad you love them, Kim. That's great.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. I'm not seeing much in the way of other questions. You know, people are saying they have some very nice comments about Gord. So that's good to see. I think we'll probably wrap it up unless you've got anything else to mention, Chris.
Well, I could talk about dogs and how they've been doing. We haven't been connecting with our community because we've had basically a whole month of hospitalization and visits. So Brix is growing. He's super cute. He's super cuddly. We just love him to bits. He's got a really funny way about him where when Beaker runs by, he'll kind of paw out at her because he pounces on her. He's really trying to forge a connection there, and I'm not sure if jumping in her face is the way to do it, but maybe.
He jumps and he goes like he just kind of does like the like Kermit the Frog above his head. What?
Yeah,
that's not what Brix does. He doesn't really. I think he hit Beaker today, but like he doesn't do it with his claws. He just is like trying to get her attention or something. Like he's not doing it to be mean. It's like he wants to play with her.
He wants to play, and he wants to play with Bernoulli. Bunsen, he likes him, but Bunsen's like, Ginger was too scary, so I'm going to give you a wide berth. What else? We did have Ginger home for the holidays for a few days, and she was much better with Brix with a little bit of age on him. So when he was a tiny kitten, she was kind of standoffish and aloof, going, I'm not too sure about you. And this time round, it was a lot better. They would hang out, and they really liked the furniture that you put on the walls. In terms of Bernoulli, he's full of energy and love and, happy smiles. He's just our goober. And like we were doing some extra training with him, and he's doing very, very well. And with Beaker, we took them on a wagon walk today. It finally hasn't been colder than minus 20 degrees Celsius because they can't go on wagon walks. It was close. We haven't gone for like over a month.
Yeah.
And so we went to.
How sad is that? It's been minus 20 for over a month.
So sad. Like quit the winter.
Yeah.
It's brutal. It's brutal. I hate it. But today it was an amazing day. Like tons of dogs were on the walk, and like our we didn't take Bunsen because Bunsen had taken him on a big walk yesterday, and we are again wanting to honor his injuries, his past injuries. We did go to Abraham Lake. That was a bucket list item for us. To see the bubbles, the methane bubbles.
It was insane. I would go again in a second. Like, I couldn't believe it. It was so cool.
Mm-hmm. We really enjoyed doing that. And then we did that on one day during the Christmas break. That was the one day that we took for ourselves.
Yeah, we had plans to do other stuff, but we wanted to stay close, be in Red Deer for Gord, right? Like, yeah, like things change and you change your plan. So it was nice to get away for, I think we were gone for half a day. I was kind of there and back again. Yeah.
And we took Adam and Annalise, which was really nice to come with. And we enjoyed the day together with them. And what else? Bunsen's doing well. He's continuing to heal. He's not wearing the cone anymore, so he's not licking his owies.
Nope.
That was a source of angst for us, where he kept licking, and then we put him in a shirt and we put him in the cone, and then we put him back in the shirt, and then the cone shirt. It was like, please stop licking, is what I just told him. I said, you need to stop licking your wound.
Yep.
And he said, okay.
Because he's the golden child.
He is. There you go. But other than that, what?
I took them on a walk yesterday. You were in Edmonton visiting Gord at the hospital.
Yeah.
And yeah, like I pushed them a bit, like we went a bit further than normally Bunsen would go. And Bunsen did just fine. That's like, I don't want to push him too far, but he did just fine. And no stiffness, nothing today. So it's just been very cool to have him have a bit of a renaissance here this winter, because he missed all of last winter, literally. Like it was about a month in we realized something was bad. And that's when he had his slip disc. So then he just wasn't out in the snow the same way.
No.
Yeah. Oh, Birdie says, that's a cold, and people complain that it's cold here in the UK. Is it a dry cold? It's a dry cold, but it doesn't matter when it's that cold. You can have all the wet cold you want. When it's minus 20, minus 30, minus 40, you could just walk outside and you would die cold.
I love it. You go out there and all of a sudden you're like, oh, I didn't put mitts on. Oh, my hands are frozen off.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You can go. Have you ever walked outside and looked at the sun and you've known the sun was there, but you feel no sun? That's what it's like when it's minus 30 or 40. You know how you put your face to the sun and you feel sun warmth? But you cannot feel the sun in Alberta when it's that cold. You can see the sun, but anyways. Okay.
I asked myself, why do we live here?
Oh, people are asking about Bunsen's laser treatments. Yeah, he's been going once every week or once every couple weeks. Maybe it's been helping. I don't know. I was definitely skeptical, but I went with you. It was kind of cool.
Did.
Yeah, it's kind of cool. Got to wear the safety goggles, and Bunsen wears the safety goggles, and they zap him with lasers. I guess if it helps.
Yeah, it's been really good for him.
Amy is watching, Chris. She says it's going to rain on Tuesday. Yeah, like we've got some weird weather coming up.
Oh,
Do you imagine it raining in January? Has it ever rained in January?
well, I'm very worried. Like, although Amy is saying it's not going to be freezing rain, it's going to
Oh.
freeze to the road, and
Be a nightmare. It's going to be a nightmare.
it'll be
But
a nightmare on the roads.
I don't think I remember it ever raining in January in Alberta. So that is like we've got weird weather coming up. I think like in Eastern Canada, it's like 18 degrees Celsius. Chris.
What?
Yeah. There's like some weird there's a weird heat thing happening. I'm sure I saw something that there's weird, crazy temperatures in Eastern Canada. Oh, Birdie says I love the cold, but that might be a bit much. The pictures are beautiful. Yeah.
It is a bit much. It's a bit terrible.
People on Instagram are like it gets to 5 degrees Celsius, we complain in San Francisco. I'd ask myself that every day. It's below 15 plus. Oh wow.
Oh, wow.
Somebody says they need to stop complaining about the cold in Minnesota. Oh, here's a good question. What is Beaker digging for in the snow? Critters.
Mice.
She's caught a few things occasionally, and I think she can hear them. Like the mice live in the ground under the snow all winter, and they kind of rustle about. I'm sure she hears them because she's caught a few. So I think because she caught a few, she keeps trying. If that answers your question.
It's like she has a gambling problem.
Yeah, I know it's a gambling addiction. Rock My Way says, I'm just south of you guys in Calgary. Well, hello. And they're pumped for the weather. Let's go, Chinooks. Oh, somebody asked.
They're also dealing with the water main break. So we feel for you.
Oh, sorry about the water main break. Even in Winnipeg, they're supposed to get above 0 next week. That could be
what? Winnipeg, like the coldest place on the planet all the time with the polar bears.
That's a lie that I'm sure Environment Canada is telling you guys in Winnipeg. They tell you after a month of minus 30 that it will be +1 just to give you guys hope. I'm sure that's what Environment Canada does. Chubby K8 asked, one of you mentioned that Brick sleeps with the dogs. He sleeps kind of all over the place, but he does spend some of his naps. Bunsen and Bernoulli sleep in the morning by the front door. They have a big nap after their breakfast, kind of like where they are right now on the camera there. Beaker doesn't sleep with them because they're stupid boys. She sleeps on the couch always. She doesn't sleep with the boys because they're idiots. And then Bricks has started sleeping on that rug thing there. He sleeps he has a morning nap with them. It's really sweet. He just kind of like saunters up and sleeps over there. Very cute.
At night, he's crate trained.
Yeah, we've crate trained him. Somebody says, I keep telling myself Beaker is digging for summer weather. Well, I hope she finds some for Chris's sake.
Yeah.
And the Riley asks, is there going to be a Brick Stuffy?
What a great question.
You'll have to wait for something in about a month. We'll have an announcement in about a month or so about that question. Kim asked, how often does Bricks go on his shelves? Every day. Yeah, he goes on his shelves every day, but he doesn't go up there to sleep. He just goes up there to play, and he kind of looks around and then comes back down. That's pretty cute. But yeah, he does use his shelves every day. Chris, you're frozen. Are you still here?
No, I'm here. I'm just holding Brixie.
Oh, okay. Yeah,
and I'm just holding him.
He is so cuddly.
I love him.
Yeah, like he cuddles your neck. And then for me, he like lays, he comes up and he headbutts me, which I think is normal for cats. But yeah, he headbutts me.
Yeah. Susan Rudin in the chat said, how's the blanket fort, Chris?
Not big enough.
Not big enough.
The dogs don't really get zoomies anymore, but Bricks does. He gets zoomies and he just jumps around. It's pretty cute. But he gets going too fast and he winds up running into the dogs and then realizing that he's made a horrible mistake. So that's been cute.
Well, it's not a horrible mistake because it's like, what are you doing?
Oh yeah, they don't care.
Not,
he's
they're not mean to him. Yeah. Well, yeah, I would be worried too. Running into a Sasquatch might be scary.
Well, maybe answer this question, then we'll wrap up. What are your thoughts about Brix's DNA test? I thought they were cool, honestly. Like I had part of me, I thought he was Siberian because he looks Siberian, but he's not fluffy enough. But I thought of the cat breeds, Siberian would be number one. And that wasn't the case. And that's cool. I think it's interesting.
It is interesting. And I don't want him to get much bigger.
Oh, so you're sad that he's 20% Maine Coon?
Yeah, the Maine Coon is going to make him really large. But you know what? I don't care. I love him. And there'll just be more of him to love. Just like the ginger that came home that Adam has been overfeeding. There was more of her to love.
Yeah, she was a little chunky the visit ago.
Yeah.
Oh, Kim, you missed the results. Check our reels. I posted it on Monday or Tuesday in a video, and if you subscribe to our newsletter, I talked about it in the newsletter. Which dog is that by the front door?
Isn't
it?
I think that's Bunsen.
Okay. Well, okay, one more question. Oh, look at all you don't have Sasquatch there, don't you? You have Sasquatch there, don't you? Yes. You betcha. Somebody's Maine Coon was 27 pounds. Oh my God.
What? No, that I can't. That'll break my back.
It's a big cat. Devin Green asked when we let the dogs in. So so we have a little bit different situation. We don't have a fenced yard, and our yard would then just encompass the entire farmland. So the dogs don't roam free, partly for a couple reasons. One, there are packs of coyotes that roam outside at night, and I'm sure our Berners could take them on, but not Beaker. She's just not big enough. She could maybe hold her own against a coyote, but not a pack of them. But the other reason is we don't really show it in videos, but we live very close to a highway. And Gord has lost a couple animals on the highway.
Our neighbors too.
Yeah, and our neighbors who are quote unquote outside dogs. And a dog that gets hit by a highway speed car does not survive. So we don't want to risk that. So the dogs are off leash outside, but we are there with them or they're on leash. So we don't risk them being that close to a highway where people are going like 160 miles an hour, 100 kilometers an hour. And we don't really show it, and it's kind of blocked out by the shelter belt trees we planted like a decade ago. So,
but that means that when they have to go out to the bathroom, we're going out with them while they're on leash.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
We don't let them out because like they're good dogs, but it only takes one time for them to stray, and that's the end of your dog. So
yeah.
And that's sadly what happened to a few dogs that we know. They were good dogs until they weren't alive anymore because they got hit by a car. We could put a fence in, but I don't know. It would have to
we could.
It would be an enormous fence. I don't know. It's fine. When is it too cold? When is it too cold? Oh, when is it too cold for the dogs? I've never seen Bernoulli cold. So he was out last year when it was minus 40. never got cold, never looked cold. Bunsen feels the cold now as he's older. I'd say at about -30. And Beaker definitely gets cold at like -20. So that's when she wears her snow pants.
Okay, but Bunsen still does the burner face wash,
Yeah.
even if it's -30.
Even if it's
He will
-40.
Yeah, he will burrow in
Yeah.
and try and wash his face with snow.
Yeah.
And Bernoulli doesn't do that. Oh, Beaker.
Beaker's mad at Bernoulli, probably. Okay, people just keep asking questions. I don't know. Should we do one more? Let's do one more. Oh, this is a cute one. Who's the boss between all the dogs? Oh, Chris has left. Maybe she was worried about what was happening. I think Beaker has enough of it with the burners. So I think Beaker's the boss.
Okay,
Do you think
we're doing one more.
Yeah. The last
Puppy
one is
puppies.
who's the boss between the dogs?
Oh, Beaker.
Yeah, I think Beaker's the boss. Yeah. Bernoulli gets on her last nerve and then she tells him off.
Yeah.
And then sometimes Bunsen gets on her nerve and she tells him off too. So
Yeah.
she's just the boss. Okay, I'm just gonna take them down. Okay, I think we'll end the show. All right, thanks for coming today to it was kind of a hodgepodge with a wonderful guest, Ryan Woodruff. You can hear the dogs barking in the background. Please do take a look at clearpathforvets.com if you're interested in his talk today. And that was a wonderful guest. It was really nice to have Ryan and a very powerful story. And then it was nice to connect with everybody and answer some questions because it's been a long time since we've chatted. So we've had to cancel Pet Chat like 4 times in a row. Anything else to add, Chris? We're just wrapping up here.
Yeah, thanks everybody for coming tonight and supporting our community and sharing their joys and our sorrows and our pets and all the things that we do in our community here. And thank you for your understanding that we've had to take a few weeks off.
Yeah, and we might have to take more off. If everything goes good, Gord will be coming home like a week after his surgery, and that'll change some things for us for a while. So so just I guess hopefully everybody's okay with us having to move Pet Chat around or take it off. So but we will hopefully see y'all next Saturday, but if not, it may be because we're collecting Gord from Edmonton. Maybe home that soon.
Yeah.
Maybe. Okay. Take care, everybody. We will see you guys next week, and if not, after that. Okay, have a good one.
Thank you.